because I wasn't that image. I wasn't black and blue. I had bruises, mostly where people couldn't see. I had a broken bone, which I explained away, but the majority of my abuse came in other forms.
Hey, it's Cheryl, and welcome to Secrets of a Survivor podcast, where I'm sharing my story, my challenges, and my learnings along the way, both business and personal. Basically, all the things. If I can do it, then so can you. So I'm here to help you on your way and be the person I wished I'd had. So let's get started with today's episode.
Hello and welcome to today's episode. Now, I really struggled with this episode, the topic of this episode. I really wasn't sure whether to do this as a podcast episode or not. But as one of my goals is to raise awareness, I think I actually owe it to everybody to go into what domestic abuse actually is. So when you see or hear the words domestic abuse or domestic violence, your mind automatically just goes straight to an image of a woman bloodied and beaten. And I spoke in an earlier episode about the fact that I didn't believe that my abuse was enough because I wasn't that image. I wasn't black and blue. I had bruises, mostly where people couldn't see. I had a broken bone, which I explained away, but the majority of my abuse came in other forms. So I wanted to share that with you so that you could understand and recognise potentially all the different types of abuse there are out there. Just wanted to share first some facts that are pretty hard hitting, and I was just a bit taken away, I think, when I read these facts. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men will experience domestic abuse in their lifetime, and that is just shocking when you think and you look around your friendship group and you could see potentially 1 in 4 of you or 1 in 7 men will experience this. And as I said, there are so many different types. It may not just be the physical side, it may be something else which you don't think of. Every 30 seconds the police receive a call for help relating to domestic abuse. And even more scary, 2 women a week are killed by a current or former partner, and that is just heartbreaking. But overall, domestic abuse can be summed up by: if you alter your behaviour because you are frightened of how your partner will react, then you are being abused. So, as I said, loads of different types of abuse. So you've got physical abuse, which you assume with hitting or beating up and that kind of thing. But it's not just that. So he may restrain you, he may throw objects at you, might pinch or shove you and just claim it's a joke. So it's not that physical, what you think of as punching somebody or whatever. There is other sides to physical as well. You've got psychological and emotional abuse, which includes name calling, threats, manipulation, blaming you for the abuse, or even gaslighting you. You've got economic abuse, so controlling your access to money or resources. If you've got a job, he may take your wages or insist that your wages are paid into his account or a joint account. He could stop you from working, full stop, or put you in debt without your knowledge or consent. Then you've got sexual abuse, which again doesn't have to be physical. He might manipulate, deceive or coerce you into doing things that you don't want to do. You've got coercive control, which is when an abuser uses a pattern of behaviour over time to exert power and control. Then you've got tech abuse, where he might send abusive texts, demand access to your devices, tracks you with spyware, or shares images of you online even. And I have said the he and she here talking about a man abusing a woman because that is my experience. But as I said earlier, 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men. So all of these types of abuse are experienced by men and women. and the abuse is carried out by men and women too. So it can be tempting to explain some of the patterns of abusive behaviour away, but it is important to call it what it is. It is making excuses, and if you recognise any of those things that I've spoken about, then it is abuse. And also a huge one to remember is there is only one person to blame for abuse, and that is the abuser. They may make you feel like it's your fault and they're doing it because you've done something to make them do it. It's not your fault. There is only one person to blame, and that is the abuser. So, I'm sorry, that's probably a really downhearted, is that the right phrase? Quite a heavy episode, but as I said, I really believe that it needs to be out there. There needs to be more awareness on the other types of abuse, because it does happen, and it happens so much more often than people realise. So I just wanted to shed a little bit of light on what could be happening behind closed doors, obviously, and that all of those types of abuse I've talked about are abuse, and they are criminal offences now. So don't put up for it. And if you see it happening to anybody you love, then please help them to realise that it is abuse and that they are not to blame and they should not be experiencing it. So yeah, I hope today's episode has been helpful in raising awareness, and I'm happy to chat further if anyone wants to message me and ask any questions. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the episode.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you'd like more help and support, check out the show notes for links to my website, socials and YouTube channel. Please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and don't forget to share and tag on your social posts. And if you wouldn't mind leaving a review, I'd be really grateful. Thank you so much again. I just want to leave you with this thought. You are strong, you are capable, you are lovable, and you are brave. But most importantly, you are enough. You've got this.